It's literally like you are in a movie. It's almost like somebody drinking a pop and popcorn, and you are actually in a movie.
Did you get to go on the Up in Smoke tour?
Yeah, I was on that tour. I was on half
Oh
of the yeah.
man.
Yeah.
What was that like, bro? Like that's like one of the most epic tours of all time.
Man, I just didn't take advantage. I mean, we were like everything was kind of like
Your balls were dry on that tour, huh? You was fucking everything on that tour. I know you were.
but you're living in and I'm not trying to steal valor, but it's almost like the army, the theater of war. You're like, go, you get your bags packed. If you got a girl, you kiss your girl. Okay, baby, I'm gonna be gone for a sec. But when you actually like fly in and you check in at the hotel, and then it just becomes a movie. It comes like, cause you always, one of my quotes, and Proof always used to, he always used to say it. He stole my verse. I like, man, you always gotta have your head on a swivel. I was like, Proof, you always gotta have your head on a swivel, have your head on a swivel. And when you like literally, you fly in, say like you fly into LA. You fly in, you fly into LA and you get a cab or you get a limo, or you go to the hotel. Everything, it becomes a movie. And that's what I'm saying about that whole Crip stuff and all that. Because when you walk into the hotel, you're very cognizant of what's going on. Because it wasn't a rodeo for none of us. And thank God that my promo experience hopefully it helped transcend some of my buddies that were in this game. They kind of knew, because Proof would sometimes be with me when I had artists in town before the Eminem explosion. So they kind of knew, and it's not all on me, but we were kind of used to the lifestyle. So you see, okay, why is three guys sitting in a Marriott with blue on? You know what I mean? You see what I'm saying? You're in a Marriott in some suburbs of Denver, and you see three guys with some all blue on. You kind of know what looks out of place. So, the original answer to your question, you already know is you already got your head on a swivel, no matter what. I don't care who you are. You got your head on a swivel, and you see stuff, and it goes by quick. Now, the last time I was on a quote unquote tour was the last show M did, like the last open show was the Dubai, Saudi Arabia thing. And I'm telling you, man, it was so fun, like it was a lot of groupies, maybe because of Dubai. It was my first time in Dubai. It was a lot of groupies. I mean, it was very, because it's a different kind of rules of law. But just seeing it, that was, I took it in. I could literally, since I've been on this health kick, I don't drink how I used to drink. And so I could have a cup of coffee in the morning, get a nice hearty breakfast, walk around the town. It was like I was living slow motion. But back then, you talk about the Up and Smoke tour, the anger management, even little parts of the Warp tour. Man, everything was. It was just. It's literally like you are in a movie. It's almost like somebody drinking a pop and popcorn, and you are actually in a movie. Some shit is always gonna happen. Something is gonna happen. It might be a problem with production, or you might gotta go 20 miles to go find a needle of a vial. It's so much stuff happens behind the scenes. But yeah, you do have your royalty of having different ladies comfort you in the night. So that's one of the bonus parts, but so much stuff happens on the road. I'm sure all your other guests have said saying the same songs I'm saying. That's not like an oddity what I'm saying.
Well, but man, come on. Like, what was I mean, that had to be like one of the most talented lineups, right? For a tour
Yeah.
ever. The Up and Smoke
Yeah.
tour. That's crazy. You have any crazy stories from that tour?
Well, that tour, no, the tour with the last the time that the cane, the elevator, the girl in the cane, that happened at the Dallas Up and Smoke. That happened at the Dallas Up and Smoke tour.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah, that was at Dallas. Um, shit, man. Dude, it was just so much. It was the what you all expect you could expect. And then you had to really watch it. And this is another part of what people don't forget about touring. Sometimes on the tour, you have your people who are married. Because you remember, Ice Cube been married since for what, 80 years?
Right.
And he had his family. So you got it's certain pockets, and then certain artists they don't get into the bullshit, and they'll be in another hotel room. So you might have your one. I hope I'm not giving up trade secrets, but you might have your hotel for guys who's single who want to have a good time, and then you have your other hotel where it's more official and stuff, and you ain't gonna be in the mess, and you don't want. And you got two hotels because you don't want like your you might have a situation where he's traveling with his wife, and you don't want your wife like, oh, he doing all that shit. I didn't know Tracy do all that shit, and all of that. So you got to really watch the perimeters of everything. So you got that going on of every parts of a tour. So it's so much stuff work, but you do have work. When I say it's a movie, man, sometimes you worried about your road manager, because being a manager, your manager is gotta watch everything, but then you got your road manager, maybe a hotel room, a credit card bill, maybe some luggage got lost, or maybe all type of different film crews. So it is a work, and it is a staff. So it's not like, hey, you're just sitting back with a bowl of potato chips just partying. No, it is work. But
Right, right.
you make saying fun though. But just sitting back and saying, wow, that was something. You sit back and you say, wow.
Man.
Yeah.
Did you go on the anger management tour?
Yeah, the first one. Yep, I was around for the first one.
The second one is when DMX was on it, right?
Well, I believe Paul and M, because at first, Fred Durst and Eminem owned intellectual properties of anger management. Then, and I could be wrong, and I will get corrected. Then M brought the rights to anger management. And that's because at first it was Limp Bizkit and Eminem headlining off and on. One would depend on what city it was. So on the anger management too, wasn't it 50 Cent? Yeah, you know what? How many anger management was it?
I think there's 3. I think 50 was on the third one.
The third one, that was when
If
Mex
I'm
was
not
there, because
mistaken.
50 had everybody. 50 brought MOP, he brought Mace. I remember they had tour buses. Like 50 went crazy, man. 50 spent a lot of money on anger management.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm talking about because they have different legs of the tour. So I guess they said the second leg of the first tour, right? DMX was on there with Godsmack and
Man. So it wasn't 3?
no. What I'm saying though is like the one that I'm referring to is because anger management tour took place in 2000.
What year was what year was that?
2000.
2000?
Right.
No, that was not 2000 was the first one. That was the one. Yeah, that was
Right. That's what I'm trying to tell you. I'm trying to tell you is that the anger management tour in 2000, right? The second leg of that tour, DMX was on.
Oh, but that was overseas though, wasn't it?
It was. Let me see.
No, man, I think that was overseas because I did the whole anger management tour. That one, yeah, that was always Papa Roach, Exhibit, Limp Bizkit, and D12. That was the whole tour of that one. That second leg, I think that was the Europe one, the Europe version of anger management.
No, it says here December 19, 2000, during the final show at Limp Bizkit's hometown in Jacksonville, Florida, DMX came out to perform an a cappella sing along to one of Limp Bizkit's songs during their set.
Eminem wasn't on that one though. That was. I remember the last anger management show was the day before or the day right before Thanksgiving because we all was on a flight and we had flew out of Disneyland. That was the last one. Maybe Limp Bizkit did a reiteration on the 19th, but I know the last show was like in Anaheim, California, like December, like a day or two before Thanksgiving, because we had just got home for Thanksgiving. We all flew out. And I remember that cost us dearly to get on that. Some of us even had to fly first class to get back home for Thanksgiving.
It said DMX was performing from November 24th to December 19th of 2000.
Yeah, so I'm saying, I think that maybe, man, I gotta look that. No, but I'm saying M wasn't on none of those dates.
Oh, okay, got you.
I don't believe M was not. No, I believe we all came back home for Thanksgiving, and maybe Limp Bizkit had another. It was probably another reiteration of that tour. But I bet it was DMX and Godsmack, and just Limp Bizkit.
It says Sinistar and Toe in Limp Bizkit. Yeah, probably.
Yeah,
because I was wondering then, like, what that interaction between M and X would have been like if they were on the same tour together.
Nah, man, that was we was trying to book it home. That reiteration, like I said, it was yeah, and I think that because I think even Papa Roach, I want to believe Papa Roach, some of them guys was on our flight back, cause or some of the band members were like they had girls and stuff in New York, cause I don't know where Papa Roach originated from, but yeah, that was the last day of that reiteration. But maybe Limp Bizkit like wanted to make some, cause we knew by that time everybody wasn't on good terms. Oh, and I'm just saying the whole Limp Bizkit and that, so maybe they had already did something and maybe called it something in that manner.